Mike
and Cheryl
with Hendrix Studios.
and today we are working with doing a collab with Crazy About Gingerbread, and it is hosted by three friends of mine, Terry from the Robin's Nest, Buckeye Girls, Decor and Lifestyle, and Jackie Russell Creates. So please go check out their pages and their links. They are here in the description, and they will be in my information down below the video. So please go check out their pages. Share, like, subscribe. That's share, like, and subscribe. All in one word because we're fast. And so share, like, subscribe, and don't forget to do that with me. So this is our little guy today. We're going to make this little dude for our gingerbread day.
So cute.
This is a ornament sled I got from Dollar Tree. This is a tree, a little bottle brush tree I got from Walmart. And the rest is polymer clay and cotton batting stuffing and a wood slice.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So let me get on my clay, and I'll be right back with you. So stay tuned.
All right. Thanks.
Hey everybody, welcome back. And now we are at the clay table. Oops, let's put the camera over just a little bit there. Everything's still open. We are on the button. There we go. Okay, we're good. Okay. Okay, so today we are making this little gingerbread boy. And he's got his candy cane, and he's in the sleigh, and he's all decked out for Christmas. So, he's made of polymer clay. And today we're going to use a couple different brands. You can mix brands of clay as long as you keep them... Certain brands cook at certain temperatures, and you can mix brands at those temperatures, but you can't intermix different temperatures. Know what I mean? Anyway. Today we're using a combination of the Craft Smarts clay and Sculpey, because these cook at 275 degrees, and that's the color I have the most brown of. So, okay, so our little gingerbread man starts off. Now he's going to be a little bit different because his bucket is a little different, or his sled. Excuse me, he's not in a bucket. He's in a little sled. These are from Dollar Tree. I first bought the one, and then I decided to put them in there, and then I went back to get another little silver one, and they were out. So here we have red. And then this is a little Dollar Tree. It looks like it's a little piece of wood with straw glued on. It's a little fake hand. Whoops. And it sheds. So that's going to go in there. Now I got to get that off my clay. There we go. You always want to have alcohol wipes ready. You can use any brand. I prefer Clorox, but you can use any brand. Because you don't want to contaminate your colors of clay. So always, before you switch colors or do anything, make sure your tools and your working area and hands are clean. You need ones with alcohol because they will... what they do is they dissolve the uncooked polymer clay so that you can make things smooth or clean, or by wiping it a whole bunch of times. Rubbing alcohol do similar things to it, but don't get too carried away with it because it'll catch you. Gotta wait a second for it to dry. So we're using brown, green, red, white, and a touch, literally a touch of yellow and purple, but you can use any colors you want. These are just the Christmassy colors I chose. These are colors ready-made from the, or ready to go from the, there's a lot of cuts in my old Teflon, silicone Teflon thing here. Anyways, so this is about 1.5 inch ball, and this is going to be its body. So we're going to take this ball, and we're going to work it a little bit, and this is called conditioning the clay. I'm just rolling it around. I do use a pasta machine to condition the clay. I've done that beforehand, so I can make these wonderful little balls. And then we're going to kind of roll a little teardrop shape or cone out of it. Like that. We're just going to set that there. For now, that's going to be the little body. So that's what it's going to look like from the front view. And this is the head. And this is the head. And the head is, you don't want it to be a ball. You kind of want it to be a disc or a pill shape, but about ½ inch wide. As big, but you want his head to be a little bit bigger. So he's kind of like an upside down exclamation point. Okay. But he's not. He's not an exclamation point. So he's our gingerbread boy. We are going to use toothpicks as armatures. You can use wire. You can use what you have. I am a person who believes in using what you have, especially when it comes to these various tools and so forth. And so what this is going to do, this is going to give him support as it cooks and as I work on it. Now I know I squished it in order to do that, and I want his body to be a little bit flat because, you know, gingerbread boys are flat on the backside because they got to cook on the baking pan. But I don't want them deformed. Okay, so then I'm also going to do the same thing to the head. And I don't want it going out the top, so it's far enough. So it's right about there. Okay, this stick's too long, so it's going to poke out, so I'm going to get rid of some of that point. That'll work. When you are using armature or anything that's not uncooked clay to uncooked clay, you need to add adhesive. You can use whatever temperature works, or whatever adhesive works with the temperature you're using. It's usually brand specific. I'm able to use Sculpey on this clay because it cooks at the same temperature of 275. Okay, so I want that to sit there for a minute, and then you can see that stick's not going to poke out the top. We don't want it to poke out the bottom either. Okay, so now we're going to make the feet. The feet are, it's the same ball. It's one of the little smaller ones. These are about 5/8 of an inch bigger, so. And we're just going to do the same thing, make little cones, except we want it to be a little longer. So I'm going to use the palm of my hand, or vertically doing it this way, so we can get a cone with a point on the end of it. Don't lose the shape of the ball here on this part, or the little hands and feet don't look right. They don't have that rounded effect. And we'll do the same thing again. Oops. Try not to knock your stuff over. Because his arms, which are the same size as these, are going to go right here. Let me get this other one done. You want to keep them about the same diameter, so don't get carried away with your squishing. If you make a mistake, like I kind of did there, you see how it's skinny here and fatter there, but way longer. Just turn it back into a ball and do it again. I'm using mostly the heel of my palm here to get the cone. And when I'm making a ball between my hands, I'm keeping it pretty much in the center of my hand. And I want them all about the same size. It's okay if these ones are a little thinner at the base because they're going on the neck, and then the head's going to squish down on it, so it doesn't have to be quite as perfect. So these are going to be my arms, and these are going to be my feet. And what I'm doing now is I'm just softening the clay because it's a little cool in the room. And I want to position them right about there so that they stick out. Yet are connected. That's good. So push down on it, and you can see how it distorted. Now you can also use a armature inside of the within the clay. You can use like a foil form. I could roll a foil into a cone shape, and then using the adhesive, adhered a flat layer of clay around it and smoothed it out and made the same shape. It is a little sturdier, uses a lot less clay, but it's a lot slower. So since we're trying to do lots in this video, we wanted to work quickly. So I want my arms on there now, and I want to literally put them on there like that. Whoops. He's a little skinnier or fatter than I want him to be. Now, make sure he fits. Don't set him on your thing, but make sure he fits in whatever you want. He doesn't, so this leg is too big. So we're going to scoot it back a little bit. It's a little bit much. Okay, we're going to pull it all off and do it again. It's a good thing about clay is you can do this. You can fix whatever mistakes you're making by just going back and doing it again. What I'm doing now is I'm reforming the shape of the bottom of this. I want it to curve a little bit, but I don't want to have a big indentation because I don't want that stick to come poking out the bottom. Okay, I'm going to make him a little bit more like it was before, pointed. Here we go. That'll work. And see, as I continue to move it, the clay just keeps pulling away from this little stick of toothpick. Yeah, that's normal. Like I said, it doesn't want to stick to wood until it's adhered down. Yeah, so see, I don't want them too fat. There we go. And again, I want them kind of cone shaped, but kind of flat in the back, but not super flat. Then I can put my arms back on. Also, it's easier to put the arms on when it is flat. And you got a base to rest them on. This clay is actually pretty dry. It's because it's wintertime here in Las Vegas. So everything here is cold dust right now. It's 36 outside, and it is approximately 2 in the morning. I'm a night person. So there's his little body. And then we want to make sure that the little arms look like they're one piece on the back side. And this is where you're going to take your silicone tool and you're just going to rub it together until that line disappears. You can even roll that into the back because it went down so long. If I had made thinner clay, it wouldn't be so thick, and this wouldn't be such an issue. This works fine because he's a little gingerbread boy. He can have a flat backside. I wouldn't do this with a regular character type, non-gingerbread kind of character. But we just want the bottom or the back of it to look nice. Even though it's not going to be seen, we just want it to also, and this helps keep the clay adhered to itself. Okay, so that's his little shape. It does fit in there, so that's great. Again, don't put them on there because that clay will pick it up. Pick up that straw. This is a little nose, and I'm going to save that for when I put his little eyeballs on. Oh, his little eyeballs are these are doll eyes on pins. These are 4mm eye doll pins or animal pins, animal eyeballs. You can get them on eBay and Amazon, and that's where I got those from. And let's see what we're going to do. His little. First thing we're going to do is, because we're changing colors, we're going to wash our hands. So get your alcohol pad out, and you see the color coming off of my hands that I can't see is there because it's just thin and it's not a dramatic color. If you're sensitive to this, you can use Dawn and go wash your hands. Also, there are tricks. You can use lotion on beforehand, like a moisturizing lotion, and the clay doesn't stick to your hands quite as badly, and it supposedly washes off easier. I found that the lotion was a bigger problem to wash off, so that didn't work for me, but you can try. I don't know. Okay, put it back so it stays wet. Wave my hands. Okay, I think we're going to do his little hat, his head first, which is white. We're doing his little hair. Now this has been through the pasta machine, and ooh, there's some little bubbles there. That's okay. I'm not using that section. So I'm just going to cut that off. You don't want to use parts that have bubbles in them because the bubbles try to rise during cooking. Also, if you did that, like I'm doing, first off, it picks up anything loose on the edges, but as it rolls along, if there's an air bubble that's big enough, see if I can get one. Nope, not this time. It'll tear the clay. Just depends on the air bubble and where it's positioned within the clay. Now, I'm not concerned about the poke marks because, oh, does this face that pretty good? Okay. I'm not using the whole sheet. I can stack this clay like this today because I've recently run it through the pasta machine. If I let it sit there overnight, which I can't do because it will collect dirt and dust and hair because I have many animals. What I'm doing now is I'm just cutting the shapes so it's not a perfectly round circle because, you know, frosting drips and stuff, so it's never quite perfectly even. Now I'm just dragging the brush through the clay. I'm sorry, the knife through the clay because I don't want to cut my Teflon. And like I said, this is a copper Teflon silicone. This is Teflon baking sheet. You can use silicone little sheets. They sell them at Amazon and what have you. You can also buy them locally in your store. I use a lot of cake tools. So this is his hat, or his hair, excuse me, not his hat. It's his hair. Don't want that little point there. But see how the icing edges are now a little smoother. I will continue to smooth these onto his little head. If you need to stretch it so it kind of fits a little better, you can. Don't stretch it too much. And then press it down. You don't want any wrinkles, so don't let it wrinkle because, you know, frosting on gingerbread is generally not wrinkled. And now I'm going to pick up. I'm going to touch the clay with my the white clay with my fingers now that I picked up the little guy. Because I don't want to transfer any of the color of brown to the white. Just want this to look like it's a layer on top, so I don't want to smush it all the way in, but I also don't want a hard edge. So I'm just kind of, you know, frosting goes, it melts. So it's got to be all melty looking. Okay, so I'm going to keep my hands off of it. Generally, white picks up every color that you have on your hands. Is there a dent in his head now? When you get a dent in his head like this, you just got to come back in there and reshape it. It's because of all the squishing. Yeah, see, he doesn't want to come apart now, which is good. Don't let his hands touch his feet because they want to stick. You can always kind of reform them a little bit. If they were bendy or something, I would put another armature in. I want his face pretty smooth because I want to put his little nose on. So, see how the clay is now starting to pick up, the white clay is now starting to pick up color? That's on my fingers. I'll show you how to get that off. Oh, we've lost detail in the back too. Okay, that'd be what happened. Usually if it loses it on one side, it's because it's been pushed out of the way on the other opposite side. Such as 3D work. Okay, that's pretty good. Doesn't have to be perfect, just gotta look, you know, smooth. Alright, because I'm trying to turn my white clay beige, brown. I am literally dissolving the clay, the brown layer off of the white layer. I'm not concerned about on the back. Okay, so I'm happy with him. He's not quite round, but that's okay. He will be better shortly. Okay, so next is going to be his hat in red. Oh, let me get this out of the way because it's going to be pink. So we're going to put his hat on him. So again, I'm just kind of rolling that clay. Oops, watch out for hairs. Back into a cone. Shapes are pretty basic in polymer clay. And fondant. This is very much like fondant work. If you can make a cake topper out of fondant, you can do this. Okay, so there I kind of got my little hat shape. And now I'm going to make it bigger using, make the base, I'm going to spread it out by using these dot tools. These are dotting tools. They're also used as painting tools. They're also used in polymer clay and fondant. So they're not just, you know, the dot painting tool. It gives you a surface to, you know, on which to work. Okay. Come on, let go. Okay, so it's that big right now. And that's fine, but I want to make it bigger, so I'm going to take the smaller end. I'll eventually move to the bigger one. And I'm literally spreading the clay out in a circular motion with this ball tool. And because he's not He's not round, so I don't want his hat to be round. I want it kind of oval. When you got it to where you want it, I want it positioned kind of sideways on his head so you can see his hair. His little frosting headed hair. And you can push that on. Again, try not to deform his little head. And that is one of the advantages to having a form in here. A hard foil armature. Or whatever you use as armature. As long as it can be cooked at 275 degrees and doesn't react with the clay, you are fabulous. Needs to be round right here. Okay. So see how I'm just pressing his head round. See me pressing that hair in. Don't do that. It's in the red and the white. Come on. Got it. Not worried if I don't get all the color off the clay because I'm putting little sprinkles on his hat. And he's got green trim coming on next. Here at the top part, whoops, rearrange and make him round again. Here we go. Like I say, the more you work with them, the more they try to squinch down from the heat of just your hands. Okay, so I've got a curve in there, but I want to make it a little more curvy than that. I would like it to actually have a fold, so I'm going to add those little fold lines, you know, that you see in creases, which is basically just 2 little folds. And then see how his hat folds down now? Come on, get your nail marks out of there. There we go. Let's go. Come on. All right. That's the problem is his head keeps getting there. It needs to be rounder. His arms need to go round. Like I say, the more you work with it, the softer it becomes. Okay. I'm happy. And now that my hands have all colors on them, I definitely don't want to touch any white. So the next thing we're going to do is his little bow tie. If you have a little mold, you can use those for this. I'm assuming we don't have one, or you don't have one. Good enough. So take these 2 pieces that are the same size, roll them into a ball, smush them down so they're about 1/8 of an inch thick, and then kind of make them into a little triangle. Do the same thing with the other one. Make sure they're about the same height when you get that done, because you don't want one to be taller than the other. You can squish them together, that's fine. Take them apart though, because we're not done yet. Don't connect them all the way. We're putting that little curve that bow ties have on the little bows, you know. That's what we're doing. So now they can meet up. Don't have to be perfectly alike, but they just need to look really like they're set. Okay, so now I'm going to take my needle tool and I'm just going to press those little fabric crease lines they get, you know. The ones on the other side need to go further out. The ball's going to cover a good part of that. Or the center ball, yeah. So here's your center ball. Whoops, it's big. Too big, too big. Make it so it's appropriately sized. Whatever size that is. So it's going to go on there like that. I'm not going to put it on yet. I'm going to lift this up. Lift him off. I'm going to put him on there. Back up, back up. See that little white part? I want that off. Thank you. Okay, that way it doesn't get somewhere else. Now I can put that little ball in the center. Press it in. And then I want to take one of the smaller dot tools, and I'm going to put a little squish mark in the center. That helps adhere the center ball to the tie. And it also gives you some dimension. Take that same, this one, yeah. And I'm going to do 3 little buttonholes. One, make them go straight. I need my towel. There we go. Because we're switching from red to green. Because we're done with red. Yay! So I'm making 3 tiny little balls. I'm going to cut from the same kind of width. This one's another green. Okay, I need to pull this one's arms out away from that bow tie, or I won't be able to get the trim. There's a little frosting on. So I want to make sure these balls are all about the same size before I put them on there. Come here. That has a hair. Not anymore. Okay. Wow, that's really big. Come up with there. That should work. You want it to be about the size of the little dent you made, so just drop them in. The top one looks a little small, so we are going to add a little bit more to it. It's just a teeny little square blob of green clay. Put it right over the top, and I'm going to push it down directly over the top of everything else. If you struggle with doing that, use your little silicone tool. Okay, so now I can push them in, and now I'm going to use my dot tool again, and that's going to make that little center hole button just like we did in the bow tie up there. Again, it adds dimension to them. Reshape his little legs because we played around with them enough times. His little legs are going into triangles. We want to make sure we have enough room to put the little frosting trim on his little body. Their space is looking really good. I'm going to put that little eyes in with little pinholes. So I'm going to draw, or I'm going to stab where I want the eyes to go. This way I know that A's are even and B's are going where I want them to go. When I don't do this, they go wherever they end up at. Just making sure that pin didn't go out the back. If so, I would just cut it because it's a simple wire. I've noticed these are not all the same size, so do be careful. You don't want to upset yourself. They don't need much glue on the end. And remember, this is a polymer adhesive. It is a polymer clay. Just use whatever brand or temperature your clay cooks at, because if you use a different one, it won't work. And this one works at, it's Sculpey, so it works at 275. Okay, got a lot of glue there. If you get too much glue, like I have done, just wipe it off. And you will have to wipe it off on your towel because it's going to stick to everything. And then poke your eyeball. And that glue helps ensure that those eyes aren't going to fall out anytime. I have a fingernail line right there and there, so that's a consistent thing I do. Okay, so now I'm going to get this little brown nose. And I'm just pushing it on. It was a little circle. And then I'm going to use probably these little cookie cutters here. These are Ateco cookie cutters. Like I say, it's from the cake department in your local craft store. And I'm going to put his little face on. Or his little smiley face. And I'm using the not where the band's at, because I don't want that to be there, and I'm just going to take my time and only push it in about to there. And there's his little face. And then you can get rid of any lines you've got going. And after he comes out of the oven, I will paint a white highlight on them with white acrylic paint. Okay, and now I need to roll the green. Oops. This is for his hat ball. I'll put that on last. And this is for his hat trim. So again, do check out all the other crafters doing the Crazy About Gingerbread creative event. And do check out The Robin's Nest by Terry. Buckeye Girls Decor and Lifestyle, and Jackie Russell Creates. They were the ones who are hosting the show. So I want to thank them again, and please go check out the other crafters on there and follow them. Because, you know, that's what we're trying to get done here. Okay, that was just getting too thin, so I had to put it back together. So you can see how I'm just kind of squishing it back and rolling it over. I'm not going to cut it because I want to lay it on first, wrapping it around kind of lightly. Making sure I follow that edge of the bread. I've stretched it too much there.
Yeah.
It's okay. Take it as far over as you can and then cut your replacement piece. So I'm going to push that part right there in. Trying to make sure they're the same width, more or less. And cut it. It's okay to put a little less. It's in the back and it won't be as noticed. So I always try to put all seams in the back if there's a seam. And again, I'm just smoothing this with my fingers. You could do the same thing with the silicone tool. These come in different sizes and by different manufacturers. Almost every craft store sells them. Don't push it down all the way on the front of his hat yet, because we got these little sprinkles that are going to go on this hat, and I probably want a couple coming out from underneath. So we'll sit them right there for right now. I'm switching to yellow and purple, and literally I need almost none. And we're going to stop to make sure the camera's doing okay. Thanks, bye. Okay, so we are getting ready to do the yellow and purple. You can choose any color you want. I just like yellow and purple because it's not on the rest of the coloring. There's so much red and green for the holidays, you know. You can just make little teeny tiny. We're making sprinkles. They don't have to be the same size. They don't have to be the same shape. Don't have to have very many either. Because he doesn't have very much hair. Frosting. Frosting hair. Icing. It's more of icing than frosting. Okay, there you can see the yellow is really a soft kite. Always very soft. Always does whatever it wants. Over there. When you're having a struggle like that and you can't get it to, if it's super soft like this one is, roll it and cut it into little pieces. Works just as good. I want them kind of, you know, long, ovally shaped. Yeah. And I also want them coming out from underneath the hat. So this is why I didn't push it down all the way down around it, because I wanted to, oops, be able to do that. See how it looks like it's coming out from underneath the hat now. I also don't want any of the hat to show, the red to show all the way around. So on sections where I'm not concerned about that, here I'm going to put some more of the proper yellow one right now. When they don't position well, that's what the needle tool is really good for. It helps kind of position and shape things. So see, now that that's under there, I can push that one part down. I'm going to combine these, it's a little small. If you're having trouble picking stuff up, you can use tweezers, you can use a toothpick. The toothpick's made of wood, so you can use your handy little tool like I'm doing now. Try not to make all the colors go the same way. There we go. And now I want one more little piece of purple. Like I say, sometimes you just gotta adapt on the fly, so do whatever you want to do, and I want a purple one right there. Okay, so I just want to push those down so they don't lift up, but I don't want to smush them. I want them to still be, you know, texture. Oop, this is little nose. Now we're going to take that green ball and roll it around for a second so it warms up. Something you can stab with. This little pointy thing will work. And you just want to rotate your tool around so you got a little wedgy shape like that going. And then you use your silicone ball or your needle tool. Once you've got that little point in there, you can open it up to fit your needs. And then, you know, do a dry run, make sure it fits on there. And now because it's the ball on the end, I do want to use adhesive because my clay is cold. The colder your clay is, the more adhesive you'll need. And that's going to depend on temperature of where you're working and how much you've handled it. You can heat it up by sitting on it, putting it under your body somehow, putting it in your pocket. Make sure it's in a plastic bag because it'll be all hairified otherwise. And there's this little hat. I like that. So put this and this and this done. So all this can go back in the green bag. Again, you want to keep your clay clean. So I try to put it back into the bags whenever I am done with it. And I am done with the red. Nope, I'm not done with the red. I'm not done with the red because I need a candy cane. Always put your tools back in the container clean as you go, especially in clay because, you know, you'll contaminate your colors otherwise. Okay, so now we're going to get the candy cane because I have to deal with red. Oh. Okay. Those are two different color reds. Oh, yeah, they are. So this hat is a deeper red. Okay, well, this is never going to be the color I want it to be, so it's going off to the side. And roll back. Give me some more red. Apparently I had two color reds. Oh, I still have two color reds. That one's different. I bet you that is Sculpey red. I had Sculpey red out last week, so. I don't want that to look dirty. That's the red I was looking for. And now you must clean your hands. If your towel gets dry because, you know, you're out in the desert and it's really hot, you can revive these as long as they're moderately clean with rubbing alcohol, which is on my other table, so I'm just going to get a new one. Come here. Come out of there. I just need one. Just one. No, one. Okay, fine. It's going to be like that. The struggle is real. I can't get things out of containers. Okay. Reality is what reality is, right? This is really a watery one. Or moisture-filled one. And the more, like I say, the more alcohol it is, the more it will break through this clay layer that's on your hand. Okay. All over there. All right. You don't want to get air bubbles when you're creating circles or spheres or whatever shape you're making. You don't want any air bubbles. Yeah, there we go. And usually, you know, by the time you fold it over once or twice, it's pretty good. Okay, we just were looking for something about the same thickness. It's a lot softer than the red clay, right? Oh yeah. Gonna go with that end. The white clay is going to be a little bit bigger because it's softer, but you're going to look at later on. If I twist the candy cane too much, it won't work. Ooh, don't put the green in there. Don't put the green in there. Okay. Where'd my blade go? Cutting out that little red part. And that's a hair. Okay. Good enough. Oh, there's the yellow on the end here. Wow, that's a really wet towel. I don't want the white to pick up more red than it has to. Okay, stick them together, roll them, so they're I kind of stack it on top of it's one layer on top of the other. And as you can see, the white is softer, so it's going to be much more pliable. And once you get it so, you know, they're fairly even on top of each other like I just had them, then you can go ahead and start rolling it. Do remember that your fingers like to move things. Okay, so I don't want a gigantic candy cane. I want a normal sized candy cane. I'm just going to stretch. So I'm going to cut this in half. At least in half. We'll cut this end off. Oops, don't put that over there. We'll put that right there so it doesn't get too close to that one. Okay, so now this is going to get a little thinner. Move the blade because I'm real moving. Tell me to not pay attention. Okay, so it looks really good. So now I can start twisting it very slowly. I want to do it slow because the white is softer than the red, and you can see it even how it's forming. See how the white is bulging out? Gentle roll. Very little pressure. Rotate, rotate, rotate. I'm trying to get an even pattern going here. But it needs more curve there, because by the time I turn it into a candy cane, okay, I need to twist this way more. And I just want to try to keep the distance generally equal between the stripes as best you can. Now, because this one clay, the white clay, is softer, tends to bulge out more, which is fine. Just go back and roll it again if you want to smooth it. If you like the chunky look, because I've seen candy canes both ways. Nothing wrong with either. You can add a third color. You don't have to add white. You can add red and green. Like this little cow here has a red and green one. So see, you can make candy canes in multiple colors. Oops, get off there. When you're happy with your twisting, shape your candy cane. It's way bigger than it should be, and that's perfectly fine. I'm going to cut it right about there, because I don't want that bottom. I can go over there. I don't want this candy cane to be too tall. It's going to be the slant, probably. And then just leave that on a hard edge. And then I will put this in my glass bake dish. It's a Pyrex baking dish. dedicated to clay. It never has food in it. And I will make sure it's straight. Okay, so I'll put that in my glass bowl, and that will be his candy cane, and then it will, whoops, it's a little long. Okay, that's good to check. Okay, it's a little long, so cut it there. Test. Good. Okay, I like that better. Okay, so now all we have left on him is the little icing trim on his arms and legs. And then we can cook them. It's the hair, get rid of it, get rid of it, get rid of it. Okay, it's gone. This is where my little fun blade comes into play. If you have an air bubble, poke it. Because this clay is so thin, you don't want to poke all the way through the clay. And hopefully we will be able to avoid and be able to cut around it. Take your time so that you got a nice even line. This tends to need supported the whole time or it stretches out of shape because it's so thin. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut the ends off because that always gives me trouble. Because I want a nice clean edge. It's not that long, obviously. Ooh, see how easily it picks up. I'm going to start on the feet first because it seems like the thing to do. There is no right or wrong. You can do it arms first, you can do it feet first. Whatever you want to do is great. And I just want to try to match up the little zigzag lines. And those will smush together as soon as I just do that. You want to make sure that you push the icing line around, all the way around, and that it doesn't have any, you can't see a shadow underneath it, because if you can see a shadow, your clay is not attached and you're going to have troubles with it. I want to try to put this at about the same position. Keep your fingers off the front because you're going to smush those little buttons and bow. Put that off. Again, I'm just trying to generally line up the pattern. It's going to be underneath the foot, but you know, still needs to look good. Okay, can you see the little shadows that are in there? This clay is not down all the way, so just push it down so you don't see any of those. But not so hard that you get rid of the texture. Oh, that's going to be cute. Okay, now I need another arm. Same technique, cut the ends off. And that way, you don't got to deal with any of them. You don't need that part anyway. Okay, because these are the hands, I'm going to have the seam be, again, in the back like I did the hat. Again, don't pull the clay because it will stretch really easily right now. And you don't want to distort it. Again, I'm trying to really match up the pattern right now because this will remain visible. And I'll show you that in just a sec. There we go. Well, I had white on my fingers. Let me get it off. Okay, good. Those matched up pretty decently. And again, gently smush that down so you don't see any of the little shadows. And if you didn't throw the last one too far away, you don't have to cut another one. You can continue working. If you need to cut another one, by all means do so. Again, the seam is on the back side. Whoops, spin it around. It wasn't looking quite in the same general area as the other one. Okay, so again, I'm cutting right where it meets up at, so I can lift that piece off. Squish them down. So again, you don't have the shadows. And then you know that your icing is secure, because you don't want it to fall off. Okay, so now I'm going to just smooth my fingerprints off of him. Make sure my details are where I want them to be, and that he's generally smooth and cute. Because however he looks now is what he's going to look like when he comes out of the oven. So if you don't like his shape, you gotta fix it now. And this is where you see all those little fingernail marks that you didn't realize he made. Reshape his hat if he's lost any detail. Fix your little smoosh lines. You don't need to stress too much because he has other things around him, so he's not all by himself. Okay, so I'm going to cook this in the oven at 275 degrees for probably maybe an hour 15 or so. And then I will be back with you guys and we will do the final assembly, okay? Thanks. Talk to you then. Okay, we are back. We are waiting for our little gingerbread boy to cook. So we're going to go ahead and work on this part. During the meantime, we're going to go ahead and glue the hot glue this lid down. Stuck that time. Okay, since this one was a different color bow, I didn't know if we wanted to go with the same green tree or if we wanted a little white tree. These are little bottle brush trees. This one I got at Walmart for 96 cents. And this was a package of 2, and they are Ashland, so I think those are a brand of Michaels. These were not 96 cents. These are like $5 for the 2 of them. And that was on sale. So, it's going to have the cotton batting here for snow underneath it. So, let's go ahead and put some of that in the front part, at least anyways. Move my little brick out of the way. And this is our snow. You could add angel hair or whatever, but I have cats, so we don't have angel hair. I'm sorry, dogs. We don't have angel hair. We used to have cats, but that was a long time ago. Not since moving to this house. Oh, we had one cat then. It wasn't really our cat, so. It was our neighbor's cat, and when the neighbor came back, they came back and took care of it, so. They were overseas. They were military, so it wasn't really our cat, but it liked us. So it will come in the house. Anyways, it was a good little cat. We had kittens and stuff like that too. We've had cats for some of our cats. Loki, she was a. I like it better with our little chocolate on here. It's different because of the going with the green tree. Yeah, the green tree's better. Labels in yellow. These are an interesting shape because they're kind of, well, like a real tree. Oh, I bet you glue's cold. Yep, pretty much. Okay. Not anymore. It's hot glue. I can find a way to burn me every time. Lift up the little bottle brush, trimmy trees, or you won't be able to cover up the plastic base that it's on. This tree has a lot of paint on it and glitter apparently, so it's a good thing that I did clean up all the clay, because it'd be totally contaminated by now. So just make sure your cotton batting, filler, polyfill, whatever it is. Make sure it's all down and there's enough of it in the front that it looks decent, because you don't want to not have enough. So you just want to make sure everything's tacked down. You don't want it to snag on stuff. So I'm trying to keep it mostly on the wood slice. Don't burn your fingers. There we go. You can roll this like clay so you can get a little shape. Just like right now, I need it to go right there. So it is rollable. You could also, if you have needle felting needles, you can use those. because they're pokey. Okay, so my tree looked good. Okay, and then we're just going to I try to position it kind of in an angle so that the little dude has more room to sit. And then when he comes out of the oven, he will glue it on. And I don't want this straight on here because this is sold as an ornament, but when you hang it, it does this. So, and that's with all this weight on it. So it was even worse without, I suppose it was even maybe a little better without the weight, but it still hung down because I looked at it. So we're just going to take that off. Make sure your tree doesn't move. I guess it's just wiggly. Okay, that's fine. But I guess it's just a wire part of it. Okay, so now we are just waiting for the gingerbread boy. So I will see you then. Okay, bye. Okay, so we are back. So we've got our little sled tacked down. And here is our little polymer clay snowman. He's hard now, he's dry. So he's going to sit right here, like so, looking out at us. Done. I'm just going to hot glue him in there. Oops, need more hot glue. Sorry about that. Okay, I got hot glue now. And then I have a couple candy canes I made to choose from. Because, you know, gotta have more than one candy cane. Oh, that looks cute, the little one. You know what, I have more than one too, yeah. We have 3 candy canes. That's a lot of candy canes. This is how I kind of have the other one sitting this way. But I think this one's going to sit better this way, just positioning it wise. So we're going to glue that right there. And put it on the low part first. You can also glue this with a instant glue, because it is just hot glue. I can reposition it. So if it doesn't stick like that one, we can try it again. Or if you don't like where you put, it's usually my biggest problem. I change my mind when I get it there. Just one little dot in each section is all it needs. There we go. And there it is. Very similar to the first one. Oh, we're not done yet. Sorry. We have to paint the little eyeballs on. Oh, this is what I like. This is literally one drop of paint for each eyeball. To look even. Yeah. Okay. All right. We are good. Put that down there. Put that down. And I want a little bit more. The snow would be on top of the snowflake here. So add a little more snow. Once I get rid of this little string of stretchy glue, there we go. Oh, there's two. Joy. Come on. Get away. Come on. Thank you. Okay. Stuff like that bugs me, so. But that would be more snow on the top of this pine cone right here. And this is just your regular old acrylic paint. Like I say, it doesn't need so much that I have to pour it out of the lid. And then I'll add a little bit more. Why don't you hand me a paintbrush with paint on it? I kind of go crazy. But you know, there'd be sand or snow on the edges of these things. Wouldn't be much, but he doesn't have snow on him, though. And I'm happy with my tree. So there we go. Our little snowman, very similar to the first one. Oops. Oh, you can always put a leaf in behind him. I think I'll do that. Hot glue that right in there. I like the gold because it kind of breaks up. So. There we go. And then here's the, oops. This is the original one that we started to do. That's the first one. And like I said, this one has a different sleigh. But when I went back to the Dollar Tree, all they had were red ones. So. If you get paint where you shouldn't, it comes right off. So. Okay. So again, guys, thank you so much for joining us about Crazy About Gingerbread. And please go and share, like, and subscribe. Not only my channel, but The Robin's Nest by Terry, the Buckeye Girls Decor and Lifestyle, and Jackie Russell Creates, our host for Crazy About Gingerbread. So I hope everybody's had a great day. If you have any questions, just leave me a message here in the chat, and I will get back with you. Okay? Got any questions, let me know. I hope you have a great time doing this. Show me your work. Just put a picture down in the comments. That'd be great. All right? Thank you so much, and have a wonderful night.